Okay, in this video, we're going to be covering special factorizations. Special factorizations include the difference of squares, the sum of cubes, and the difference of cubes. So for difference of squares, an expression of the form a squared minus b squared can be factored into a plus b times a minus b. So if we FOIL a plus b times a minus b, we can say that the ab and minus ab cancel out, leaving us with a squared minus b squared. Okay, so let's start using this right away. Calculate the following without a calculator. 2024 squared minus 2023 squared. Okay, let's write that as the difference of squares. So 2024 plus 2023 times 2024 minus 2023. So right away, we said the right-hand side condenses into just 1, and the left-hand side is 4,047. And 4,047 times 1 is just 4,047. So the final answer, the first exercise, is 4,047. Okay, and now for the second one. 2024 squared minus 1012 squared, all divided by 1012. Okay, so let's write the numerator as a difference of squares again. And we're going to divide this by all by 1012. Okay, we can see that this factor just condenses into 1012. And since we're multiplying in a fraction, we can cancel out the 1012s. So cancel out. And we're left with 2024 plus 1012, which is 3,036, our final answer. Okay. Now time for the sum of cubes and the difference of cubes. So right off the bat, if you look at the formulas, you see that they're awfully similar. It's just a different signs. And there's a rule to figure out what those signs are. Let's write these real quick. A cubed minus b cubed and a cubed plus b cubed. And for both of them, we're going to start with the same units. A, B, A, B, A squared, AB, B squared, and the same thing for A cubed plus B cubed. Okay, so the rule is called SOAP, which stands for same sign, opposite sign, and always positive. So for A cubed minus B cubed, we're going to start out with the same sign. So A minus B. And for A cubed plus B cubed, we're going to put A plus B. And now that we move on to the O, that's the opposite sign. So what's the opposite of negative? It's going to be positive. What's the opposite of plus? It's going to be a negative. Okay? And the AP is always positive, so this last term is always going to be positive. Okay? And that's how you can learn and memorize the difference in sum of cubes. Okay? Let's start using those. Factor the following completely. X cubed plus 1. So x cubed plus 1, you can write that as x cubed plus 1 cubed. This may look stupid for this problem, but we have to think about these problems in this way. So better get used to it now. Okay. So it means that A is equal to x and B is equal to 1. We can plug this into the sum of cubes formula, which again is A plus B A squared, opposite side, minus AB, and always positive. Okay, we're just going to plug it in. X plus 1 times x squared minus x plus 1. And we're done. This is the factored form of x cubed plus 1. Next one. Expressed in simplest form, 9x squared minus 4y squared divided by 27x cubed plus 8y cubed. Okay, for this problem, we have to use everything we learned so far. We're going to use a sum of cubes and a difference of squares. So the numerator, we can write that as 3x squared minus 2y squared. So we can use the difference of squares. So 3x minus 2y times 3x plus 2y minus and then plus. Now onto the denominator. This is a sum of cubes, and we can write that as 3x cubed, sorry, not squared, cubed plus 2y cubed. Okay. So here we're going to have same sign, so 3x plus 2y times 9x squared. Because remember, a squared and a here is 3x. And then minus ab. So minus the product of these two, which is minus 6xy. Okay, and then we finally square the last term. Should be 4y squared. Okay, and in this fraction, we can cancel out the common terms, which is 3x plus 2y. And we're left with 3x minus 2y divided by 9x squared minus 6xy plus 4y squared. That's our final answer. Okay, now it's time for more practice with difference of cubes. We're going to factor x cubed minus 1 completely. X cubed minus 1. That would be, since a is equal to x and b is equal to 1, we're going to have x minus 1 times x squared, opposite sign, so plus x, and plus 1 squared, just 1, and we're done. Okay. If a and b have a difference of 8, and the difference of their cubes is equal to 32, what is the value of a squared plus ab plus b squared? Okay. So for this problem, trying to manually compute those would be a mess, so we're going to use factorization. Okay. Let's write everything we got from this problem. So we have a minus b is equal to 8, and that the difference of their cubes is equal to 32. So a cubed minus b cubed is equal to 32. Let's factor the bottom and see what we can get from that. So a minus b times squared plus ab plus b squared is equal to 32. We should look at that. The desired quantity a squared plus ab plus b squared is one of the factors of a cubed minus b cubed. So since we have a minus b here, all we have to do is divide by the value of a minus b. So let's divide the whole thing by a minus b, divide by a on this side, and divide by a on this side. And we're going to be left with a squared plus ab plus b squared is equal to 4. And here 8 is equal to a minus b, So these cancel out. And our final answer is 4. Okay, time for the next one. Factor completely 8x cubed minus 27y cubed times 8x cubed plus 27y cubed. Okay, let's define our a's and b's first. So for the first factor, we have a is equal to 2x, b is equal to 3y, and it's the same for the second part, just a different sign. Okay, let's use the difference of cubes first. So we're going to have 2x minus 3y times 4x squared plus their product, so plus 6xy and then plus 9y squared. Okay, time for the second part. We're going to have 2x plus 3y, and for reference, we could write the formulas. A plus b cubed is equal to a plus b ab, sorry, not plus ab, minus ab plus b squared. Okay, continuing, a squared, which is 2x squared, so 4x squared minus their product, which is minus 6xy, and we're going to square 3y, so plus 9y squared. And this is our final answer. Let's try a 4-term thing. Okay, time for the next one. Factor completely 32x to the 6th minus 7 to 9. Okay, so 32, you can write that as 2 to the 6th times x to the 6th. And 7 to 9 is actually 3 to the 6th power. And we can use the difference of squares here, surprisingly, because we can write this as 2 cubed times x cubed minus 3 cubed, and we square each of these quantities. And for convenience sake, we can write what these really are. So 8x cubed minus x cubed squared minus 27 squared. Okay, so we're going to have 8x cubed minus 27 times 8x cubed plus 27. Okay, this is similar to the last problem, and we're just going to use the same idea. Okay, so a is equal to 2x, b is equal to 3, and the same for that one. Okay. Okay, those are the formulas we're going to use. Okay, so 2x minus 3 times 4x squared plus 6x plus 9 times 2x plus 3 times 4x squared minus the product, which is 2x times 3, so minus 6x plus 9. And this is the factored form. we're done, since there's no like terms. Okay. And in the next video, we're going to cover these last problems. These are beyond the scope of this video, so they're going to be a separate video.